I like it, but we already have a problem with it. We noticed that it wasn't sucking up enough. One good way to troubleshoot these kind of vacuums is start at the head and check to see if there's any obstructions that are limiting the amount of air sucking up into the vacuum. In the suction tube, you'll often get hair or dust or some kind of debris that can clog this and make it really hard for this to suck the debris up into this canister. So one of the best things you can do is just work your way from the head to the next joint. See if I can pull it off while I'm holding this. So you pull this off and you check down there, see if there's anything obstructing that. Then you take it, pull the next one up off of here, push the button in, pops off. There's nothing obstructing that. Look in here, see if there's anything going into there. Doesn't look like it. Then I'll turn it on and see, maybe just doing that will help see if there's more suction. I'm going to turn it on. It's barely sucking, and that's on high. So that means something is going on upstream from the head and the suction tube. So the next thing I'll do is I'll pop the canister off, and I'll just put my hand in front of the vacuum itself. This is the vacuum motor. I'll put my hand in front of it and we'll see if that has good suction. That definitely has good suction. That means something is probably wrong here. One thing you can check is you can pop this top off. You just pull this piece here, and then this will bring you to your filter. Sometimes this filter can get really full, so you pull this out and check. This I just recently cleaned out. It looks a little dirty, but it kind of stains. But I recently went outside and beat this against my hand, and all the dust came out. So it's probably not that. So the next thing we can do is pull this piece out and see if there's these little tabs on the sides, and you just pull this piece out, and you can check to see if this microfilter right here is clogged up. And I can see right through that. So that's probably not what the problem is in this particular instance. The next thing you can do is pull this piece off. This is the lid that opens up to dump it into a garbage can. Oh, okay. That's what the problem is. This is missing the seal or the gasket. These seals are not easy to find. I found one online on eBay going for about 26 bucks plus shipping costs. I'm in the US. Couldn't even find it on the Ryobi site or the Amazon site, which not a good sign. So I'm going to show you, short of having to order a new one, I'm going to show you some other ideas on how to possibly repair this. Because if this doesn't have a good seal, you're not going to have a good enough vacuum to pull all that debris all the way from the head up to the canister here. So if you don't have a good seal, all that air is just escaping out the bottom of this. So we're going to try to add a gasket, and that's basically a rubber or spongy, foamy kind of seal that will make this plastic airtight. and make the vacuum stronger. So there's a number of things I would recommend trying to do. One of the things I bought is, we'll see if this works. I bought a roll of, it's called backer rod. It's in the caulking section or the insulating section of your hardware store. It's basically a roll of foam, really small foam. And the idea is I'm going to try to push this down into that crevice that's made for a specific, this crevice right here. I'm going to push it into here and see if when I close it, it'll increase the suction or not. Okay, so what I would do is give yourself an extra amount, but take it off of the roll so it's not fighting you the whole time. But you're going to take some of this and cut it with a scissors or a knife, just so you have, yeah, that cuts pretty easy. We're gonna start here and just kind of use the back end of a spoon to push it into this crevice here and just go all the way around. I'll show you what I mean in a second, but it's hard to do with one hand. Okay, so I'm just basically just going around and pushing this spoon into this foam and slowly work my way around to make sure it stays in there. If this works, this is about, I'd say, a $13 fix. A lot cheaper than the part that I found online that is the direct piece that goes into this for $35. Okay, the size that I have fits up into the crevice there, but then it's too small to still fit the gap that was here, so I put another bead of this stuff. I put right there, and then that changes. You see how that just pops out like that? Well, this is the hatch that you open to dump the debris from your canister. So I'm gonna have to find a way to glue this onto the other foam that's pushed into the crevice here. And I'm gonna do that with hot glue. And hot glue is one of the best things you can do for doing repairs or crafts in your house, because you can use it and it sticks so quickly and is so handy to have that I highly recommend picking up a hot glue gun. I'm going to show you, once my glue gun warms up, I'm going to show you how I'm going to fasten all of this so you can make your own gasket. Now, I don't really want you to get hung up on the fact if you don't have a hot glue gun, this isn't going to be the end of this story. You can still fix this. You might just use like super glue. But either way, you gotta fasten this down to the other foam in order to make this work as a gasket for this thing, because you're gonna have to pop this canister open to dump it. And you can't do that and have that fall out. That's the whole reason why we lost the gasket in the first place, is we opened this up to dump it and the gasket fell out into the garbage, and we didn't realize until it was too late, and we can't get the gasket back. So we had to buy a new one, or we have to make a new one. Okay, so it's coming out. So it's probably about ready to go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put some of this right onto the foam here, and then just work my way around here and push this foam down. And it's really tough for me to do this. You don't want to get too much on the plastic, just try to get it on the other foam. I'm gonna put this down here like this. You have a little time to work with it. And then you're gonna just push this down and it'll stick pretty fast, and then it'll cool, and it'll just stay there. And then you're gonna just work your way around slowly, not too much, just enough to attach to the foam, because you want to make that gasket, but you don't want it to stick to this canister too much, because just in case, we haven't tested this yet to make sure it fully works. Okay, I went all the way around and just put a little tiny bead and pushed it down, and it really seems to do the trick. This thing isn't wanting to pull up at all. Now let's see if we can close it, because we want this gap to be filled. We don't want any air to be able to. So you're going to push it down and make sure it latches onto this latch. There. Now see, you can see that it seems like it's pretty airtight now. So we're gonna put this on here first and try it out. All right. So now we're gonna hit this, turn it on, and see if it sucks up pretty well. By the way, I put the filter back in because I had taken it out to show you guys. So we're gonna hit the button. That works a heck of a lot better now. And you want to make sure that you have enough battery in this. This one has 3, and this is a 4 amp hour battery, so that's more than enough to do a little vacuuming. I think this is going to work. I will do a quick test drive on the vacuum head and see how it goes. Okay, so this wasn't even picking up anything before this repair, so I'm gonna test it on some of these Christmas tree needles that we just got our Christmas tree. See how it picks up. Okay. Okay, all of those, all that debris is in there, and it worked great. It was not picking up anything earlier, so this fix worked. Another important part of this repair is that it has to be able to be opened, because this is what you use to dump it too. So you don't want it to fall into the garbage can when you pop it open. So when I hit this, the repair just stays in there. Unlike the thing from Ryobi, which actually falls right into the garbage can with your garbage. So, I mean, part of me is kind of kicking myself for ordering a part from eBay for $35, which hasn't gotten here yet, when this seems like it's going to be a pretty good repair. So, some final notes. This stuff is called backer rod. It's 1/4 inch by 100-foot roll. I bought this for about 13 bucks in the insulation aisle of a hardware store. You might be able to find it in your local hardware or big box store. I will put links to all of the things that I talk about in the description and in the comments. I think the best fix was this stuff. Worked awesome, and I recommend following those instructions as you see in this video. I wouldn't do it differently, I don't think. That said, some of you might just want to buy the part. I tried to find the part on the Ryobi site on Home Depot and on Ryobi.com, and I could not find it. I couldn't find it on Amazon either. I ended up having to buy it from a dealer on eBay. I will probably put that in to see how that works, but I might just go back to this fix because I think it works better than how our old original part worked, because you can open it up and it won't fall out like the other part did. Once again, thanks for watching my videos. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comment below. My description will have all of the links that you need for all this fix. And I guess my final review is that there's some weaknesses to this particular vacuum, but I think all in all it's a pretty good upgrade from the other one. If you happen to have the older version of the Ryobi vacuum, check my older videos and I have some repair guides on that might come in handy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you'll subscribe.